Imagine being locked away for 27 years, not for stealing, not for murder, but because your government believed your ideas were too dangerous. That was the reality for Nelson Mandela. Born on July 18, 1918, in Mvezo, South Africa, Mandela grew up under a system that gave the white minority government overwhelming political power while denying most black South Africans basic civil and political rights. As a lawyer and activist with the African National Congress, he campaigned against apartheid and called for equal treatment under the law. In his early years as an activist, Mandela supported non-violent protest. However, after events such as the 1960 Sharpeville massacre, where police opened fire on demonstrators, he concluded that peaceful methods alone were unlikely to succeed. He helped establish an armed wing of the African National Congress that carried out sabotage operations targeting government infrastructure while seeking to avoid loss of life. That decision remains one of the most debated parts of his legacy. To the apartheid government, Mandela was a criminal and a threat to national security. To many supporters, he was resisting an unjust political system that left no peaceful avenue for change. Decades later, historians still discuss the moral and political complexities of that period. In 1962, Mandela was arrested. 2 years later, during the famous Rivonia Trial, prosecutors sought severe punishment for Mandela and his co-defendants. Rather than deny his beliefs, Mandela delivered a speech that would become one of history's most quoted courtroom statements, declaring that he had devoted his life to the ideal of a democratic and free society and was prepared to die for it. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. Most of those years were spent on Robben Island, where he performed hard labor in a limestone quarry. Prison authorities tightly controlled correspondence and visits, and years passed between opportunities to see loved ones. Yet fellow inmates later described how Mandela encouraged education, discipline, and debate, turning the prison into what some called a university for political thought. Meanwhile, something unexpected happened outside the prison walls. The longer Mandela remained incarcerated, the more famous he became. International campaigns demanded his release. Governments imposed sanctions on South Africa. Musicians organized concerts, and activists across continents adopted the slogan, "Free Nelson Mandela." The authorities who intended to silence him instead helped make him one of the world's best-known political prisoners. After secret negotiations with government officials, Mandela was released on February 11, 1990. The images stunned the world. The man who had disappeared behind bars in middle age emerged with gray hair, raising his fist before cheering crowds. Many expected retaliation after decades of imprisonment. Instead, Mandela repeatedly emphasized reconciliation and negotiation, working alongside F.W. de Klerk. He helped oversee the dismantling of apartheid and South Africa's transition to democratic elections. Their efforts earned them the Nobel Peace Prize. On May 10, 1994, Mandela was inaugurated as South Africa's first black president, chosen through a fully representative democratic election. His journey, from political activist to prisoner, from inmate to president, remains one of the most remarkable transformations in modern history. Even today, debates continue about his tactics, his negotiations, and the compromises made during South Africa's transition. Yet there is broad historical agreement that Mandela played a central role in ending apartheid and helping steer the country away from the risk of a wider civil conflict. One government tried to erase his influence. Instead, it amplified it, and history remembers not the prison walls, but the man who walked beyond them. Follow Dark Evidence for more hidden history and untold stories.